Good morning, families. Good morning, littles. How are you doing today? Are you staying nice and cool? I hope you are. I hope you're finding ways to stay hydrated, which means drinking lots of water, and that you're staying in the shade if you're outside, or if you're outside, you're wearing a hat, or if you don't have a hat, that you have put on some sunscreen, and that you're remembering to drink lots and lots of water and eating food like fruits and vegetables to keep your body healthy and able to withstand the heat. What other things could you do? Could you go swimming? Yes. Could you go in the sprinklers? Yes. Could you have a water fight with the hose? Yes. Make sure you ask your mom or dad first before you do any of those things. I have a special book for you, though. If you're listening in for story time, it's called A Pocket for Corduroy. And we've already read Corduroy, the very first book that Don Freeman wrote about corduroy. And this is the second book about corduroy. So I can't wait to read this one to you. But first, I wanted to share with you a collection of books that was written by Jane Austen. And here's her name, Jane Austen. And normally, you would see there's Sense and Sensibility, Pride and Prejudice, Emma, and the Northanger Abbey. And all of these books, except for the last one, I haven't read that one actually. I have each one of these as individual books, but this is a special edition where they have put all of the books in one big book, you see, and they've made the pages very special with gold, and there's gold designs and lettering on the front. And this book is special because it has, with the exception of the last one, all of my absolute favorite books right in one spot. And if I ever wanted to, I could open up the book and it has something really special connected. It's a ribbon, and it's like a bookmark, and wherever you start reading, that's where you put your ribbon, and it stays connected to the book, and you'll always find your place. I love Jane Austen. She's one of my favorite authors. And as you grow older, you love your books that you had when you first started reading, because I love Don Freeman, that's the author, and all of his books. But as you get older, you'll start reading chapter books. And I know that one of our friends, Sabrina, has finished her first chapter book. And this is considered a chapter book. Has lots and lots of words and many sections called chapters. And each chapter is a different part of the story as it moves along from the beginning, the middle, and the end of the story. And so as you're moving through the chapter book has given you lots of information about the different characters that are inside the book, where they are, the location, what they see, how they feel, and then it's giving you a story, and it goes up and down and around and over and finally comes to the end. And when you're reading and you get lost in the places that they've created for you, the author has, it's one of the most beautiful things in the world, and I get lost in this body of work all the time. And I have this in my bedroom very close by to me so that I can read it whenever I want. I hope that one day you'll love Jane Austen as well. I invite your mommies and daddies to get you a copy and maybe read some of it to you. The language is different, how they talk in it is a little bit different from a long time ago, but it's like music. You just have to get your ear accustomed to hearing different sounds and the different ways of speaking, and then all of a sudden it just becomes natural and it no longer seems different to you anymore. So, Jane Austen, that's my favorite. Let's put on some lavender and take our deep breaths. And I realized I forgot our candle yesterday. So we really need to make sure I remember that today. So let's take a deep breath. Inhale. Exhale. I love lavender. And there's our candle. Oh, because it's so warm in the house already, I have the fans on. And the candle might not stay lit. Let's see. Oh, no. I need the fans on because it is unbelievably warm in the house. And you know that I love my squirt bottle. So I'll do this real quick. And then we can start our book, okay? A Pocket for Corduroy by Freeman. Here's the pocket that they've made for Corduroy's green pants. Late one summer afternoon, Lisa and her mother took their laundry to the laundromat. Lisa carried along her toy bear, Corduroy. The laundromat was a very busy place. Now, Corduroy, you sit right here and wait for me, Lisa said. I'm going to help with our wash. So here is the very busy laundromat. And there she is sitting Corduroy down. And her mommy is doing the laundry. When you live in big cities, sometimes because it's so exciting to live in a really large city and everyone wants to live there, they have big apartment and skyscraper buildings that have lots of homes in them, but not a lot of space for laundry. So there are laundromats. So cool. You get to go to a laundromat and talk to people and take care of your clothing. It's a fun place to be. Corduroy waited patiently, then he suddenly perked up his ears. Lisa's mother was saying, "Be sure to take everything out of your pockets, Lisa dear. You don't want your precious things to get all wet and soapy." So here is Lisa, and they're looking through their clothes, and here she was telling her to be careful not to leave anything in her pockets. There's Corduroy, he's listening. You see his face? His face looks a little perplexed or sad. He's thinking. Pockets? Said Corduroy to himself. I don't have a pocket. He slid off the chair. I must go find something to make a pocket of, he said, and then he began to look around. There he is. First he came to a pile of fancy towels and washcloths, but nothing was the right size or color. And then he saw a huge sack of colorful clothes in a laundry bag. There ought to be something in there to make a pocket out of, he said. He sees all the rugs and those aren't quite right. And there is the big bag of clothes. Looks like a cave. Lisa Without hesitating, he climbed inside the bag, which was filled with pieces of wet laundry. The dampness didn't bother Corduroy in the least. This must be a cave, he said. I've always wanted to live in a dark, cool cave. Later, when Lisa looked for her bear, he was gone. Oh, Mommy, she cried. Corduroy isn't here where I left him. I'm sorry, honey, said her mother, but the laundromat will be closing soon and we must be getting home. Oh, look at him crawling in. Uh-oh, and there she is looking for her bear. Lisa did not want to leave without Corduroy, but her mother insisted. You can come back tomorrow, she said. I'm sure you'll find him. As they left, a young man wearing an artist's beret was taking his wet laundry out of a bag. the very bag Corduroy had discovered. Before he knew it, Corduroy was being tossed together with all the sheets, shirts, shorts, and slacks. There they are leaving, and you can see in the background the bag. Oh, and there. Oh, do you spy him? I spy Corduroy. Have you found him? Inside the dryer. But just as the artist was shutting the glass door, Corduroy tumbled out onto the floor. How in thunder did that bear ever get mixed up with all my things, the artist wondered. Poor Corduroy was damp all over. The least I can do for him is give his overalls a good drying, said the man. He unbuttoned Corduroy's shoulder straps and put his overalls in the dryer. There he is, thankfully, falling out. Oh, and there, he's getting his overalls dried. Corduroy grew dizzy as he watched the clothes spinning around, but the artist became inspired. This would make a wonderful painting, he said as he took out a sketch pad out of his pocket and began drawing the swirling colors. I can hardly wait to get back to my studio. Finally, the dryer stopped whirling and the man gathered up the clothes, and then he helped Corduroy put his warm, dry overalls on. All at once, the manager of the laundromat called, "Closing time, everybody out." And here's the artist drawing the colors, and you can see part of it is Corduroy's overalls. And there, he's putting on his overalls. Corduroy was gently placed on top of the washing machine. I wonder who that bear belongs to, said the artist as he was leaving. He should have his name someplace. He's too fine a fellow to be lost. And as soon as the lights were turned off, Corduroy began his search again. He was surprised to see something white glowing in the dark. Maybe it's snow, he said. I've always wanted to play in the snow. There he is, being put on the shelf. Oh, and he found something. It says Swan Flakes. And then on the bottom it says soap chips. And he thinks it's snow. He accidentally tipped over the open-lidded box, and suddenly he was covered with soft, slippery soap flakes. And gradually, Corduroy began to slip and slide. Oh, what fun, he said with a smile. I've always wanted to ski down a steep mountainside. There he is, being scooped up and flying down into something, but thinking he's skiing down a slope. Have you ever been skiing? I have. He landed paws first in an empty laundry basket. Oh, this must be a cage, he said, peeking through the bars. Never wanted to live inside a cage like a bear in the zoo. But by now Corduroy felt drowsy, and soon he nodded off to sleep. So he's in a laundry basket, but he's imagining it's like a cage in a zoo. And there he is, all sleepy. Next morning, when the manager came to open the laundromat, there was Lisa waiting. I left something here yesterday, she explained. May I look around? Certainly, said the manager. My customers are always leaving things. Lisa was searching under the chairs and in back of the washing machines when she heard the manager call her. Is this what you are looking for, señorita? And señorita is, señora is a woman, or it's a way of greeting a woman and being formal, and señorita is the girl or a younger woman. And there he found Corduroy in the basket, and he has a broom because all the soap is on the floor. Yes, he's my best friend, shouted Lisa. She searched in and picked Corduroy, she reached in and she picked Corduroy up out of the basket. So this is where you've been, you little rascal, she said. It's time I took you home. Lisa thanked the manager and ran down the street, holding Corduroy tightly in her arms. I thought I told you to wait for me, she said. Why did you wander away? I went looking for a pocket, Corduroy said. Oh, Corduroy, why didn't you tell me you wanted a pocket? Asked Lisa. There she is, reaching in and getting him out. And there she's running as fast as she can to go home. That very morning, Lisa sewed a pocket on Corduroy's overalls. And here is a card I've made with your name on it for you to keep tucked inside, she said. I've always wanted a purple pocket with my name tucked inside, said Corduroy, as he and Lisa nuzzled noses. Aw, I like nuzzling noses. It's my favorite. Bum, bum. All done. Well, I'm so glad you came to join me for a pocket for Corduroy. I hope you enjoyed our story. Stay cool, stay hydrated, and make sure that you're in the shade, have some sunscreen on, and you drink lots of water today. I love you, my babies. Mwah.